Imagine two people graduating from university at the same time. Both are intelligent, ambitious, and capable. They read books, stay informed, and work hard. 20 years later, one has accumulated substantial assets, enjoys financial flexibility, and views money as a tool that creates options. The other earns a respectable income but feels permanently behind. Their bills are covered, their lifestyle appears stable from the outside, yet financial stress never seems to disappear. They are constantly catching up, constantly reacting, constantly wondering why progress feels slower than it should. What makes this situation particularly interesting is that intelligence alone rarely explains the difference. Many people assume financial outcomes are primarily determined by knowledge. If someone understands economics, follows business news, earns good grades, or works in a respected profession, it seems reasonable to expect strong financial results. Yet reality repeatedly challenges this assumption. Some of the most financially disciplined individuals are not necessarily the most academically accomplished, while many highly educated professionals struggle with debt, lifestyle inflation, and long-term wealth accumulation. The reason is that financial success is influenced by something deeper than knowledge. It is shaped by decision-making patterns, emotional responses, incentives, social environments, and cognitive biases that operate beneath conscious awareness. In other words, money is not simply a math problem. It is also a psychology problem. This distinction becomes important because most financial mistakes do not happen when people lack information. They happen when emotions quietly override information. Consider how people make decisions in other areas of life. Someone may understand the importance of exercise and still skip workouts. Someone may know the benefits of healthy eating and still choose convenience over nutrition. Knowledge and behavior are not identical. The same principle applies to money. Most adults understand basic financial concepts. They know spending less than they earn is beneficial. They understand debt carries costs. From the outside, increasing income appears to signal progress. Internally, however, financial pressure often remains surprisingly similar because expenses have adjusted upward as well. This creates a strange paradox. Someone earning significantly more than they did 10 years ago may feel almost exactly as financially constrained as before. Their environment has improved, but their margin for error has not. What changed was not simply income. Expectations changed. Psychologists have long observed a phenomenon called hedonic adaptation. Human beings quickly become accustomed to improvements in their circumstances. What once felt luxurious eventually becomes normal. What once felt exciting becomes expected. The first salary increase feels transformative. The second feels helpful. The third feels deserved. Eventually, what was once viewed as abundance begins to feel like a baseline requirement. This process quietly reshapes financial behavior because satisfaction continually adjusts upward. Instead of creating lasting contentment, increased consumption often creates a new reference point. The same psychological mechanism influences housing choices, vehicles, technology purchases, vacations, clothing, and social status expenditures. Individuals are rarely comparing their current situation to their past. They are often comparing themselves to their peers. This introduces another powerful psychological force, social comparison. Humans are deeply social creatures. Throughout history, belonging to a group increased survival odds. As a result, our brains pay close attention to relative status. Modern technology has amplified this tendency dramatically. Every day, people are exposed to carefully curated images of success. They see career milestones, luxury experiences, property purchases, entrepreneurial achievements, and lifestyle highlights. What they rarely see are liabilities, financial stress, consumer debt, investment losses, or private anxieties. The comparison becomes distorted because one person's everyday reality is being measured against another person's edited highlights. This creates pressure to spend in ways that support identity rather than financial goals. A person may purchase a vehicle that exceeds their practical needs not because transportation requires it, but because the purchase communicates something about success. Another may move into a more expensive neighborhood to signal advancement. Someone else may feel compelled to maintain social spending patterns that quietly undermine long-term financial stability. None of these decisions necessarily arise from ignorance. They arise from psychological incentives. People are often managing emotions, status concerns, and social belonging at the same time they are managing money. The financial consequences become clearer when viewed mathematically. Imagine two individuals earning identical incomes. One spends nearly everything they earn while maintaining an impressive lifestyle. The other consistently preserves a portion of income for investments and future opportunities. At first, their lives may appear remarkably similar. In fact, the spender may appear more successful because visible consumption is easier to notice than invisible savings. Over time, however, a subtle divergence begins. The saver acquires assets. Assets generate income, appreciation, flexibility, and resilience. The spender acquires experiences and possessions, many of which gradually lose value. The difference may seem insignificant during the first few years. Yet financial systems are heavily influenced by compounding effects. Compounding is often discussed as a mathematical concept, but it is equally a behavioral concept. Small differences repeated consistently can create dramatically different outcomes over long periods. The key insight is that compounding rewards direction more than intensity. A modest but consistent investment habit often outperforms irregular bursts of financial discipline followed by periods of overspending. The system rewards persistence. This is where many intelligent people encounter difficulties. Highly analytical individuals sometimes overestimate the importance of optimization while underestimating the importance of consistency. They search for perfect investment strategies, ideal market timing, or sophisticated financial frameworks. Meanwhile, simpler habits that could generate meaningful long-term results remain underutilized. The irony is that wealth creation frequently depends less on extraordinary decisions and more on ordinary decisions repeated for decades. That reality feels unsatisfying because the human mind naturally seeks complexity. Complexity feels intelligent. Simplicity often feels insufficient. Yet many financial outcomes are driven by remarkably simple variables: income, savings rate, time, behavior, risk management, consistency. These factors may not generate exciting conversations, but they generate significant consequences. The deeper issue, however, extends beyond individual behavior. Financial psychology does not operate in isolation. It interacts with broader economic systems that shape incentives and opportunities. Modern economies are designed around consumption. Businesses grow when consumers spend. Advertising industries thrive by capturing attention and influencing preferences. Entire sectors compete to encourage purchasing behavior. This does not imply malicious intent. It simply reflects economic reality. Consumers are constantly exposed to messages suggesting that fulfillment exists one purchase away. Better productivity, greater happiness, stronger confidence, enhanced attractiveness, increased status, and improved identity are frequently associated with consumption. Over time, These messages influence behavior in subtle ways. People begin solving emotional problems with financial solutions. Stress leads to spending. Boredom leads to spending. Celebration leads to spending. Insecurity leads to spending. Money becomes not merely a medium of exchange, but a tool for emotional regulation. The challenge is that emotional relief obtained through spending is often temporary, while the financial consequences may persist much longer. As a result, intelligent individuals can become trapped in cycles they fully understand intellectually yet struggle to escape behaviorally. Because ultimately, financial success is not determined by what people know during moments of calm reflection. It is determined by what they repeatedly do during moments of temptation, uncertainty, comparison, and emotional pressure. Before you go, I'd like to hear your perspective. Do you think financial success is mostly a math problem, a psychology problem, or a combination of both? Have you ever noticed a financial habit, belief, or decision pattern that held you back even when you knew better? Share your experience in the comments. Some of the most valuable lessons about money don't come from textbooks or headlines. They come from real people recognizing patterns in their own lives and learning from each other's experiences. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind wealth, financial behavior, economic systems, and the math that quietly shapes our financial lives, subscribe and join us for future deep dives. New videos are released every week examining the ideas most people overlook but experience every day. I will see you in our next video. Bye for now.